the second half of chat number 237, and it is titled Better Body Confidence. Let me get the microphone moved up here. And I'm so serious when I say, if you have not tried to wrestle a microphone through a sports bra, you need to try it sometime, because it was interesting. Okay, so Donna, if you're on a computer on KCKitchenCenter.com, the search bar is at the very top. If you are on a mobile device, at least on my iPhone, it was at the bottom. There was like a magnifying glass, and I'm trying to think what else. So thank you all for being patient while I move the microphone. So this is the second half of chat number 237, and it was entitled Better Body Confidence. What better way to have better body confidence than to make some healthy and delicious foods to go in your body? And I'm just going to get my hair out of the way because we are definitely cooking tonight. Okay. So, wow. Good job, Kelly. Good job on the hair. Oh my gosh, hold on. I got a new banana clip, and apparently I don't know how to use it. Okay. So better body confidence is putting my hair up when we start the second half. Okay, whatever. The hair's out of my face, so let's go ahead and get started. So, who already knows what That Man's Chicken is? So raise your hand if you've ever had That Man's Chicken. I know a lot of you all have, and it is a family favorite. So the original That Man's Chicken was made with boneless, skinless thighs, which obviously have points no matter which plan you're on. So Lynn's had it. Awesome. So That Man's Chicken, the thigh version, again, it has points no matter which plan you're on, because it's thighs instead of breasts. So this recipe is already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. We also have the recipe for the breasts. That Man's turkey breast, chicken breast, lots of different breast options. But I'm going to show you some yummy sides to make with this, so that we can have the thighs, because I'm really craving That Man's Chicken thighs. So while they're cooking, I'll tell the story of That Man's Chicken for everybody who doesn't know, but we're going to cook it. I use a Simple Living products, and this is so weird. So I've not been able to walk around since I had the microphone on. I started to yell because I was thinking, that I was projecting my voice back over here. This is so awesome to have a walk around microphone. So I have a Simple Living Products air fryer. It doesn't matter what brand you have. You are going to put your boneless, skinless chicken thighs in one layer in the bottom of your pan. So if you have an air fryer oven, if you've got one of the ones that's an oven, you're still just going to make one layer. The good news is the boneless, skinless chicken thighs already have some fat. That's why they're points. So you do not have to spray them. If you're doing the boneless, skinless chicken breasts or That Man's turkey tenderloin, you do have to spray it with some kind of nonstick spray or a little bit of oil, because they don't have enough fat. So there is my chicken. So there is my That Man's Chicken thighs. Or there's the thighs anyway. Okay, we're going to get them started. All I'm going to put on top of them, so they're literally just in the bottom of my basket. You do not have to put any nonstick spray on them since they have enough fat, since they're thighs. We're going to use some nutritional yeast. I use Bragg nutritional yeast, and you're just going to sprinkle that on top. You can use Trader Joe's. You can use Bob's Red Mill. There's a bunch of different brands. So I'm going to use some of that. Just sprinkle it on there, and then I'm going to use, because I'm still trying to be low sodium, I'm going to use some Dax Original Red. The Dax Original Red still is my favorite on That Man's Chicken thighs. I love, all the different Dax flavors, but the Original Red is still my favorite on That Man's Chicken. Don't know why, and I can't describe the flavor. Have no idea. It kind of tastes like those Montreal chips. Okay, we're going to put this in the air fryer, and we're going to put it on 360 degrees for 18 minutes, and we're going to flip it about halfway through. So if you all notice that it's been 9 minutes and I don't seem to be paying attention, just holler at me. Okay, in the Simple Living Products air fryer, you scoop. I hope you all saw that. I scooped to put that in. I didn't shove it in there. You push this button, and we want it on. For the thighs, we want it to be on 360. So it automatically comes up to 360, and then we're going to push that little button to change it to 18, and then just push start. Okay, so really quickly, let me explain That Man's Chicken. it's probably been, let's see, John and I had we just first gotten married, and we went to one of those in-home parties where I think it's called Towncraft Cookware, and I saw something similar to it at a home show this weekend, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's probably the Towncraft people. But anyway, it's a kind of cookware that has oil in between the layers, and so it's supposed to cook evenly and all this stuff. And we had just gotten married. We were fascinated. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. We had no idea. But we should have known. We weren't old enough to know, but we should have known that both couples, hello Deborah, both people from the couple, like both people, the husband and wife had to be there, is what I'm trying to say. So just so you know, if you ever go to any kind of a home party, or if you have somebody come to your house for something like that, if the husband and wife both have to be there, that means they're selling you something tonight, okay? You're going home with something, just so you know. So the husband and wife both had to be there to be able to attend this party, because they're going to give you free food and they're going to do all this stuff. And we were like, oh, wow, that's fantastic. They're going to give us free food. We were so excited. You know, well, the free food was to encourage both of you to come. So this has probably been, it's been at least 30 years ago, because we were just first married. You know, we had just gotten married, and he took boneless. So this guy, the guy that was the demonstrator, he took boneless, skinless chicken. So somebody's talking about parchment paper with holes in it. If you will season your air fryer, you don't need that, okay? Unless you just don't like to clean at all. I do have parchment paper with holes in it. You can get it online because it goes in a rice cooker. Or if you go somewhere where they have rice cookers, you can get, it's just for a rice cooker. It's just round parchment paper and it has holes in it. But if you will season your air fryer, you won't have to do that. If you don't know how to season your air fryer, we have a chat for that. So just go back to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com and search for seasoning your air fryer, or go to YouTube, search the same thing under If You Have an Egg. Anyway. So back to this party, because sorry, that distracted me when I saw the parchment paper question. So back to this party. So this guy, he's making this chicken, and this thing gets so hot in the bottom that you spritz water on it, or like you flip some water on it, and it beads up because it's so hot. And we're all like fascinated, because we're all young, none of us had been married very long, so we're all like, oh my gosh, on his every word. And so he does this, puts the chicken thighs in there, but it's so hot, you don't put any oil in the pan, and the chicken thighs don't stick. So as soon as he flipped those chicken thighs over and they didn't stick to the bottom, we were all like, what? We want that. We want that. Well, you couldn't buy that. You couldn't buy that it was just a electric skillet basically, but you couldn't buy the electric skillet without buying a set of the Towncraft cookware. So what do you think we ordered? Yeah. So John and I ordered, I don't even remember how much it was. It was probably like $800 or $900, 30 something years ago. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But we had, we were young. We didn't know any better. Anyway, so after that, when we got home with our skillet, I would make That Man's Chicken. We would always say, oh my gosh, let's make some of That Man's Chicken. Well, we didn't know the guy's name. We were just fascinated with the chicken. So we started calling it That Man's Chicken. And to this day, 30 something years later, when we make that kind of chicken, we call it That Man's Chicken. So now I make it in the air fryer though. I think that Towncraft pan that's been long gone. So I'm sure we got our money's worth out of it, but it is long gone. And making it in the air fryer, you can do thighs, you can do chicken breast, you can do turkey breast tenderloin, you can do pork chops, you can do so many things. Carol Lou does green beans this way, but we just call it That Man's. And so this is That Man's Chicken, is the original, it's the chicken thighs. So the reason that I'm going to show you everything else that I made is I really, really wanted thighs. So I'm doing purple right now. So I need everything to be really low points, because purple has the lowest number of daily points. In case you don't know how blue, green, and purple work, we also have a chat for that. So you can go back to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com or to YouTube, and you can see it there. You can find out there how the plan works. But purple has the lowest number of points. It is working fantastically for me. In 4 weeks, I'm just under 10 pounds lost since returning to WW in person. Yeah, so I'm going to be sticking with purple, for a while. You can eat meat. So a lot of people think, oh, purple is vegetarian or vegan. It's absolutely not. Purple is just the lowest number of points. So normally I would eat chicken breast or turkey breast or something, some kind of really lean meat, but I really, really, really wanted some thighs. So in order to counterbalance those points, we're going to stick in some substitutes. So I went ahead and pre-made these today just because it would have taken us all day if we were going to make all of this, but I'm going to talk through them slowly. so that y'all can, you know, hear how they're made. And then, yes, these will be posted as recipes. There will be 3 extra recipes this week, you know, for the 3 things that I made today. I made all of them in the air fryer. So everything today and tonight was made in the air fryer. And I have 2 air fryers. You don't have to get 2 air fryers, but I have 2 air fryers because I am at work right now. This is Casey Kitchen Center where I work. So, so I have 2 air fryers here. We have an air fryer at home and we have an air fryer over at Casey's house because we use them so much. So and thank you all for the compliments on the weight loss. But we use them a lot. We use them almost every day. I showed one of the girls here at Casey Kitchen Center, one of the newer ones who hasn't been through my All Things Can Be Made in the Air Fryer seminar. Just kidding, it's not a real seminar, training course. She hadn't been through it yet, and they had a pizza that they had purchased at just a grocery store pizza where it's made, but you got to cook it. And so she cut it into 4ths, and she was going to try it. I don't know how she was going to try and cook it. And I was like, no, air fryer, you have to put it in the air fryer. So I showed her how to do that. And it turned out so great that she made a 4th of a pizza for 2 other people who work here because they were so fascinated with the air fryer. I'm just telling you, it's stinking easy. It's easy to clean up if you'll season it before. And again, there is a chat for that. You can go back and find it. It's so easy to clean if you will go ahead and season it. So easy to use. And it is not 150 degrees in here. So I have made, each of these things took at least 20 to 25 minutes to cook. So I've got 20, 40, 60, 80 minutes, at least 80 minutes of cooking. If I had turned the oven on, if I had turned that on, first of all, it doesn't work right. I hate it. I hate that oven. And second of all, I couldn't have made all of this in just a couple of hours. So I mixed it, made it, you know, put it in there, hit it, set it and forget it. It's like that old Ronco commercial, set it and forget it. Walked away, came back at the halfway point, either shook it, flipped it, whatever. Okay, so let's see. Has it been 9 minutes yet? It has not. We still have 11 minutes. So here in 2 minutes. So Lynn is watching the clock. So Lynn, in 2 minutes, you're going to holler at me. Okay, so before I get carried away and not tell you about the rest of the things that I made today, the first one of the girls at our physical WW meeting 2 Tuesdays ago, I guess, we were talking about, you know, confidence in the kitchen, and they were talking about air fryers. So we were talking about grills, air fryers, things like that. This girl's name is Angie. I don't think Angie will be here, but Angie, in my Tuesday night meeting, she was talking about a carrot recipe that she had found, and I was like, I want to try that. I want to try that because I do happen to like cooked carrots. These are like cooked carrots on steroids. So this recipe, I don't remember where she found it, but I changed it just a teeny tiny bit. So these are just regular baby carrots. So I literally went across the street to Food City today, bought just a regular bag of baby carrots and dumped them in the air fryer. Then I spritzed them with some olive oil. Then I sprinkled Bragg nutritional yeast on it. And then this was the piece de resistance, is ranch. So she had used powdered ranch dressing. You know, I don't use that anymore. So I used the ranch, the Dax nothing but ranch seasoning, and sprinkled it on there. So I did not add any salt, any sodium to this. And then you put them in the air fryer on 400 for 10 to 12 minutes and shake them at the halfway point. And it's probably been 9 minutes. Let me look real quick. Nope, we got 1 minute. 1 minute until it's been 9 minutes. But do you hear how quiet that is? Or do you not hear how quiet that is? Or you do hear how quiet that is? Whatever. Like, it's so quiet that one of these things, when I was cooking it earlier, I took Dusty out to go potty, and when I came back in, I thought, oh no, it's already gone off. And I came around the corner. I still had half the time left. Yeah, they're so quiet. These are Simple Living products. So those are Simple Living Products air fryers. And if you go to Simple Living Products website, you can get 10% off. I think it's just, I never remember what my coupon codes are. Kelly 10, Egg Lady 10, Egg Lady 10. Pretty sure it's Egg Lady 10. But anyway, so these are the carrots. 400 for 10 to 12 minutes. They're fantastic. So I'm going to put some of these. Lynn says it's time. Hold on. Thank you, Lynn. Excuse me so much. So one of the not good things about having the microphone right up in front of me is when I sneeze, y'all get to hear it. Okay, so the thighs, you're literally just going to pick them up and flip them over at the halfway point. And I hope you all can hear how juicy this is. I'm going to show you. I'm going to lift it up and show you again and try not to dump them out everywhere. So this is another bonus of doing this with the air fryer. The air fryer, it crisps them up on the outside, and especially the nutritional yeast, it crisps them up on the outside, but it keeps it so juicy, and it keeps chicken breast this juicy too. So look how good those look. Okay, and with the Simple Living Products air fryer, you just stick it back in again. So I just scooped back in again, and it's going to start on its own. So I did not have to restart it. It knows where it left off, and it's going to start again on its own. So I am doing this to prep meals for the rest of the week. So I'm going to use my handy dandy Millhaven meal prep kit, and I'm going to put some of the carrots in there. So I'm actually going to make this into, these will freeze. So if you've never seen Millhaven meal prep kits, you can microwave in these, you can freeze in them, you can put them in the refrigerator obviously, and you can also, did I already say microwave? Dishwasher. You can put them in the dishwasher on the top rack. So I'm going to put some of the carrots, and we did not add any points to the carrots. It's so little olive oil spray, or if you spritz it with like an Evo sprayer, which is right, let me see if I can find it. It's right there. So you can spritz them with an Evo sprayer. So I'm going to put some carrots in there. So now I've got some carrots prepped for this week. So this is going to be an emergency meal. I'm using this to make an emergency meal for, I'm going to put it in the freezer so that if I have one night where I'm like, oh no, I don't have anything to eat, then I can just grab it and it'll be like a microwave dinner. So the carrots were one of those, and Angie told me how to make those, Angie from our Tuesday night meeting. Then I did some Brussels sprouts in the air fryer, and the Brussels sprouts, these are just regular Brussels sprouts. If they're big, cut them in half, because you want them to be either small Brussels sprouts, or you want them to be, or cut them in half, because you want about an inch to be the biggest one. So after you wash them and cut them, then the Brussels sprouts, again, you're going to spritz, either do some nonstick spray, and we will post all of these as recipes as the week goes on. So you don't have to be sitting at home going, oh my gosh, what is she saying? But you can always go back and watch the video later. So the Brussels sprouts, you're going to spritz them with some nonstick spray, or you're going to spray them with a little bit of olive oil, something like that. And you're going to drizzle just a little bit of Bragg liquid aminos if you have it. If you don't, you can use soy sauce, and Bragg liquid aminos has just as much salt, so that's where I'm going to get all my salt from this week. But after they cook, so you're going to do the Brussels sprouts. Oh, okay, yeah, Vicki, hold on. So the Brussels sprouts you do on 400 in the air fryer, 400 for about 10 to 15 minutes. You kind of got to watch them, because if you have some really big pieces and then some really little pieces, then the really little pieces don't want to go to 15 minutes. So shake them and kind of look at 10 to 15 minutes. When you're done, I took some balsamic vinegar and poured it on there and just shook them. I just shook them in the balsamic vinegar. So I'm going to put some of these in my little emergency kit. So I'm basically making a TV dinner. So instead of buying a TV dinner at the store, I'm making one. And I'm going to put a few over here. And John loves them. John loves Brussels sprouts, so I bought extra Brussels sprouts. So I'm going to be making them again later this week. Okay, so that's the Brussels sprouts. And then the last thing is, because I'm on purple, then I can have potatoes. And you can have potatoes on blue or green. You just have to count the points. So I didn't just want potatoes. I mean, I love potatoes, but I knew if I just made a potato that I would sit and eat it all. I have to be super careful with potatoes, popcorn, things like that are lower, less, or no points on purple, because I will literally just sit and eat them. So instead, I made it special. I air fried some little fingerling potatoes. So I took a colorful mix of fingerling potatoes. Again, washed them, and then I cut them. They're not super thin. They're not like, what is that called when you do them super, super, super thin? They're not like that. They're not like ratatouille thin. But they are, and Myrna wants to know what the brand name of the bento boxes are. It's right here. Meal Prep Haven, and we do have those at KC Kitchen Center, you know, or you can order them online, or you can get, you know, any kind of bento boxes online. So, so those are just sliced potatoes, but I put some shiitake mushrooms in there with them. So the mushrooms have bulked it up just a little bit. They've bulked it up just a little bit, and made it so that I've got, you know, quite a bit of mushrooms in here too. So I'm not just going to be eating potatoes. Okay, and I want, oh, we still got 5 minutes on that. So the potatoes, once you slice them up thin, then you're going to, again, spritz them with a little bit of olive oil. Nonstick spray is fine, or you can use an Evo sprayer. And this is an Evo sprayer. This is what I'm talking about. If you go, if you don't know where to get these, if you go to IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, if you go to the shopping section, you will not be buying this from me, but we have a lot of Amazon recommendations on there, and you should be able to go. You should be able to go straight there. And Vicky, I know. Okay, so Vicky just said we can roast radishes and they taste like potatoes. So Vicky, I'm literally like days away from picking the rest of pulling, harvesting, whatever you call it, the rest of the radishes out of mine and Alyssa's garden. We only had like 3 things that did anything. So our sunflowers were fantastic. They were fantastic. The carrots did okay. The radishes and the beets are killing them. The beets were okay. The radishes are like, I don't know, they're like kicking it. The radishes are kicking it. So I'm like days away from picking the rest of the radishes. And yes, I will be doing that too. Anyway, this is an Evo sprayer. And so it just spritz a little bit of whatever kind of oil that you put in it. So that's what that, I keep saying, when I keep saying Evo sprayer, that's what I'm talking about. And then slice that, put the shiitake mushrooms in there with it, spritz it a little bit. For that one, I used the steakhouse seasoning, because the Dax steakhouse seasoning, which you can get on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com or on KCKitchenCenter.com, or here at KC Kitchen Center if you happen to be in Knoxville. But I used the steakhouse because the steakhouse, for me, makes potatoes taste like they have salt on them, even when they don't have salt on them. And Dusty must be able to smell the chicken because he suddenly is awake. Anyway, so I put that on there. So we're going to put a little bit of the potatoes and mushrooms into this bowl, and then I'm going to put a little bit of them into my emergency dish. But this way too, I'm not going to go crazy, so I will not be going crazy eating, you know, just potatoes. Okay, let's see how much time we have left. I know he is hungry, and trust me, Lynn, he has eaten. He is fine. Okay, we've got 2 minutes left. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all have to hang out for 2 minutes. It smells so good. So good. So again, this is all on, either already on or will be on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com by the end of the week. And you can always go back and watch this later on YouTube. And speaking of that, because we're going to be running right up until the end, up until the last minute. If you're watching this on YouTube, pretty please go ahead and let that next video roll over, and pretty please subscribe down here, okay? Pretty please. Oh, has he? Lynn says that Dusty's been sneaking peeks. I hadn't even noticed him. So yeah, so he's photo bombing us. And yes, so Carol Lou's asking if these come with lids. Yes, they do. So the lid goes on there pretty tight. So it's pretty tight. I'm not going to show you tonight, but it goes on there pretty tight. And I have put liquid in these before and then turned it upside down. I mean, like, I wouldn't suggest carrying water around in it or milk or anything like that, but I have put something that was fairly liquidy in it and then turn them upside down. But with the lid on here, then you can freeze them, and they just stack up on top of each other, so you can freeze them. You can put them back in the microwave. I usually take the lid off, or I at least pop it like I just did, and then just barely set it on top before I put it in the microwave. And they are dishwasher safe on the top rack. And surely to goodness, it's been 2 minutes. Let me see. We have 1 minute. We have 1 minute. So IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, this is That Man's Chicken. What we're making tonight is That Man's Chicken. You can also look up That Man's Pork Chops, That Man's Chicken Breast, That Man's Turkey Tenderloin. Like I said, Carol Lou makes That Man's Green Beans. I mean, you can do any of this stuff in your air fryer. And it's getting ready to go off. So here's the other good thing about using an air fryer. If we had wandered off, so let's say that you and I, we're just having a discussion, we're talking, whatever, and if I forget, that's the best sound ever. Well, that, and when you put your magic band up to the door. Anyway, so let's just watch it for a second. So if I had wandered off, so let's just say if I had wandered off, and Kelly, I'm sorry, it's called Meal Prep Haven. And we do have those at Casey Kitchen Center, or you can just, get some kind of bento boxes online. But so if you and I were just talking, and if I had completely forgotten that we had chicken going in the air fryer, did you hear that? After it beeped, it cooled down, and now it's off. So you and I have not just wandered outside and left our chicken in to burn. So, and it's even cooled down. Okay, let's get it out and see how it looks. Fantastic. It's always fantastic. It always turns out so good. So let me get my original bowl. And I don't know if y'all noticed this or not, but I put a paper plate in the original bowl so that no one would fuss at me about putting cooked chicken where raw chicken had been. So yeah, so thank you all for not fussing at me. So this is, and too bad I got some on my thumb, so I'm gonna have to lick that off here in just a second. Can y'all see how juicy this is? Like, can you see that it's dripping? It's so juicy. So juicy. So you definitely do not need any oil. You do not have to fry these. Oh my gosh. So you see that dripping, right? You see how juicy this is. Okay, so there is that minced chicken. That minced chicken, the thighs do have points. It doesn't matter if you were on blue, green, or purple. And y'all remind me to take that out and clean it before I leave. But it doesn't matter if you're on blue, green, or purple. Thighs have points. But everything else that we made on purple is 0 points. You're going to have to figure the points accordingly if you are on another plan. But I'm going to put a couple of thighs in the cute little bowl that I was doing over here. So these bowls are also on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Oh, and look, I have to lick that off my thumb. Such a sad day for me. But these little half bowls, these are also on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. You'll be ordering those off of Amazon as well. But I've got my that minced chicken, I've got my potatoes and shiitake mushrooms, my ranch carrots, and some balsamic glaze Brussels sprouts. And I'll put a decent sized one over here. I'll put 2 little ones over here in my emergency kit. So now I'm making myself a little emergency backup meal, in case there's one night when I think, yes, Deborah, thighs have points because thighs have fat. They have too much fat in them. But here's my little emergency kit. So I'm going to put this in the freezer and I'll save it for later so that if there is a night when I think, oh no, I've got to have something to eat, I'll already have a little to-go meal. So I can just heat that up in the microwave. Okay, that is it. And I think we are right on time. Y'all have time for like 2 questions. 2 questions. So Donna says that's a lot of food for very little points, you mean? That is a lot of food for very little points. So these 2 thighs are, let's see, because I'm not going to weigh them. That's probably about 4 to 5 points worth of thighs. That's a lot of food. Yeah. So this bowl, look how big that is. That is big. And I promise you, John is probably sitting at home right now going, bring the thighs home, bring that minced chicken home, because he loves it. And he loves Brussels sprouts too. So that minced chicken thighs is the only thing that has any points if you're on purple. Oh, and the Teresa, the bowl it's a half bowl. And if you look on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, it's one of our recommended items. And I think the brand is Saucy, SAUCI maybe, but if you look on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com in the shopping section, it'll take you over to where you can order them on Amazon. But it's a half bowl. It's just an adorable half bowl, and I use these for salads and for a lot of my meals because everything's contained in the bowl. Okay, I hope everybody had an excellent evening. The points for all of these will be posted as we post the recipes. Remember that minced chicken, the original thighs. So the original that minced chicken thighs, this is already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. If you want to make the chicken breast or the turkey breast version, already on there. It's already on IfYouHaveAnEgg.com. Okay, y'all have a great evening. I'm going to try my best to wrestle this away from Dusty. And in case you forget, the Hocus Pocus tumblers, somebody else makes these, we don't, but the Hocus Pocus tumblers, Jessica did go ahead and put them on our website because so many people asked, so they are on KCKitchenCenter.com. Just search Hocus Pocus and you will find them. But y'all have an amazing evening. I will see you next week. yeah, if I make it home with all of this food. So I'm hungry again. But anyway, y'all have an amazing week. And again, if you're watching this on YouTube, please just go ahead and let that next video roll over, or click the button. Everybody needs to click that button and go ahead and click the bell so you'll see the next video when it comes over. Oh, great. And Donna ordered some tumblers too. Yay. The girls will be so happy when I let them know. Thank you all very much. But y'all have a great evening. It has been fun again. And this time it's going to be fun and yummy. So I will see you all next time. Good night.